Hey everybody, welcome back. I am your host, and today I'll be discussing the TV show slash Netflix series Lucifer. Um, don't forget to like and subscribe and tell your friends about this channel, as I look forward to discussing and hearing your thoughts on any of my previous videos and ideas for upcoming ones, which, if I take your advice, I will give you credit for. Now, Lucifer was originally was a TV series on Fox that when I initially watched it, I couldn't get into, I couldn't follow, and so I dropped off. It lasted 3 seasons. Fox canceled it. And then, but thanks to fans writing in and motioning for it so much, Netflix picked up the series for an extra season originally. Just one. But then, because it got such high marks in the system, it got a second and final season. That was split into 2 seasons. And due to the pandemic hitting, the second season had to be put on hold for a longer time period than was initially expected. Now, one of the good things I enjoyed about Lucifer when I went back and watched it again and actually got into it was that it wasn't just, oh, he's the devil, ha ha ha, type comedy. It actually took the criminal procedure system and used it, but at the same time, it took the devil's fun and let him in to enjoy it. It was, what fun can we have for the devil to get around the loop? I mean, what loopholes can the devil find to have fun? And the devil being in Los Angeles, the city of angels, of all things at first. And the opening was fun. Because the devil escapes hell, and the place he picks out of all of them is Los Angeles to blend in. But anyways, let's continue. The way the series went, he just kept moving, and he faced villains of different types. He went from, this is spoilers, he faced angels, he faced humans, immortals, including Cain, who wasn't really an immortal, but more of a curse that made him immortal. So it doesn't really count, in my view, as being immortal. Priests, um, demons who wanted to take over hell. And then the final one, and then the final season, his own family of angels. His own twin brother, Michael, in fact, makes things a little bit more interesting. So, sorry I didn't state before the video, spoiler alert, but those are examples to, those are pretty much the villains I mean, the major villains. But you also have other characters in there, like God himself. the mother or celestial being, mother of all creation, however you want to phrase it. You have the other angels who were actually good. You have the ones who were actually, I mean, then you have the one, you have Maze or Mazikeen, you have Lilith, you have Eve from the garden. It gets kind of interesting with these characters in their own development, but it also gets interesting with the basic characters of Lucifer, um, the detective, as he calls her. Her ex, Miss Chloe Decker is the cop's name, and her ex-husband, Dan Espinito, who is also a cop, but divorced from Chloe, and they share a daughter. Lucifer and Dan don't get along, but their relationship actually reminds me more of an ex-lover versus the current lover relationship dynamic, and the jealousy, anger type being there, not an actual disagreement type deal where they're worried. Also, when it comes to moving on in the story, the ideas of what's ethic, I mean, what's in the Christian ethics and morality section, if there's actually a gray area or not, or if it's solid black and white, such as you kill in the name of self defense. Is it still murder? Or is it a gray area now? Or with the devil, he get people to confess to things without actually getting them, without actually doing anything illegal, because they may not want to talk. So he'd ask them one question: what do you truly desire? And they would answer whatever their deepest desire was. The only person it wouldn't work on was Chloe, and there was a reason for that. But, anyways, like I was saying, he'd ask them their desire. They answered. When they answered, whatever they desired would often give them the answer as to whether this person actually committed the crime or not, often leading to the eventual arrest of the true criminal. So, anyways, the show just recently, as I stated, added the final part of the fifth season, which is the final season overall for the series. Unless more fans somehow find a way to get another season added, which I don't see happening. My only problem with the second half of the season is, as good as it was, the series finale kind of got questionable. Yeah, it started to wrap things up nicely, And to a point, it was great. But the final but the final part of it just, spoiler alert, it's an open ending, but to me it was a little too open as to what would happen. It doesn't perfectly close it, but it doesn't leave. But it leaves too much. But it doesn't have just enough of an opening to give you leeway. It opens it up too much for an argument of what happens here, what happens next. Yeah, he did this. Yes, he does do something that shows why he is right for the position. For the fight that he's in for. But and you'll see it when you watch it. But at the same time, when it all comes down to it, it's still too much of an openness. Does he honor his agreements that he made already with Maze and the others? Does he help out those he needs to that we would expect him to help? Anyways, I highly recommend watching the final part of it and even rewatching the whole series. Because overall, like I said, on the initial watching, Lucifer wasn't something I was into, but upon rewatching it, I got into it and I enjoyed it very much. And I would recommend it to anybody. It's a great series, and the cast was very good. The cast seemed to have very good chemistry together, and the episodes just seemed to flow along nicely once they got going. Even the characters, the way they evolved, or the way some of them came into the series, was nicely done. But anyways, let me know your thoughts on the on this series and how it came to its end. Till next time, I'm out.